Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another Marvel Legendary video. So this video is obviously not a playthrough, you're looking at a spreadsheet. This video is a sort of buyer's guide given what we have available in Marvel Legendary as of the end of 2023. So I was going to put this out on the 31st, but there's a couple things in here that make me kind of want to put it out earlier just in case people want to jump on some of this stuff sooner than later. But this is displaying everything that has released so far for Marvel Legendary. Everything that's in white is everything that I own. And it's mostly everything that's been released, that has officially been released. These items down here in yellow are things that are pre-orderable, depending on where you look. And the red here is something I do not own. As you can tell, I've notated what's in print. I'm using Upper Deck's website to guide what is in print, because if they don't have it on their website, I'm assuming that any other place that has any of those things in stock are just residual stock left over from the original run. And if we look at we can filter for what's not in print. Everything that's not in print are mainly big boxes. And I guess I didn't have this anywhere. So I guess maybe this is also not in print. I didn't have it there. Let me know if I'm wrong about that. Also, this Google Doc will be available. What's blank? This Google Doc will also be available in the description below for you guys to look at. But I kind of wanted to use this as, I want to kind of do a purchase priority, kind of like what you should buy first, so on and so forth. The main thing is, and I will preface everything with, if there's a character, whether it be hero, mastermind, or what have you, appeals to you, and you really want to use that character, that's what you should buy. So let's just kind of take a step back. Let's look at core sets. So you obviously need a core set to play. So these are the 4 core sets available for Marvel Legendary. Now, villains and Phase 1 are out of print. So they don't exist. You don't have that as an option. The main core set and What If. What If is new. And honestly, if I was getting into the game right now and I didn't have either one of these, I would probably go with What If. Just for the fact that it comes with a playmat. It's a little cheaper. And you have all the basic cards. You're really getting whatever one you get, you're getting, and I'm actually going to put them both as priority 1 just because you need one of the or the other. But they both give you really, like, if you have one already, then you're getting the other one for the heroes. Now, the main core set has 15 heroes, I believe. And most of, like, the staple Avengers are in there and X-Men are in there. So Spider-Man, Wolverine, Captain America, Iron Man, Black Widow, Hulk, Gambit, Emma Frost, Storm, and then you've got Red Skull, Loki for the masterminds, Doctor Doom, and Magneto. So you're kind of, the original core set has basically all the classic A-list characters that we know. The What If core set's based on What If, but it comes with a playmat, and the playmat is infinitely better than the board, and it also accounts for new stuff coming later, like the shield, what do you call it? Like the sidekicks. So if you don't have either one, I would go with What If. The core box is a thing that would probably always going to be produced. It's an evergreen, so you probably will never have an issue where it's out of stock. But if you want the What If stuff, I would probably get that stuff sooner rather than later. Especially for the fact that you're going to get 8 heroes, 3 masterminds, a bunch of new villains. Like, everything but the starter cards is new content. I guess I guess masterminds and all the villains and stuff are different between the two. So I think it's worth getting both of them. But if you don't have either, get What If first and then get the core box. But I think you should get both of them. And I think What If should be the priority over the core box. Now, if you want to complete everything and you can find a copy of villains, go for it. But honestly, it's its own weird thing, and I don't have it mixed in with the other stuff. Like I have my villain stuff played with just villain stuff, so I don't think that's as a big a priority. But I think the phase one core box is the lowest of the priority because not only is that a print, but it has fewer characters in the core box, fewer masterminds and villains, and most of them are just reprints of the original core box. There is a slight difference with Ironmonger, and I think Conquer, like Shriek, like Conquer as a keyword is introduced in there. But some of the like the masters or the schemes and the masterminds are just like are duplicates, different names, but they're basically reprints of existing ones from the core box. So that is the lowest priority of course core sets due to its availability and the fact that you're getting like 99% or 98% the same content as the regular core box. So that's my idea for that. Let's go into the next easiest thing to talk about are big boxes, because big boxes are all out of print. I mean, that's kind of the bottom line here, is that they're all gone. I don't know what they're doing, but the core box, the big box is like 350 cards. Now, World War Hulk, I wasn't going to put Amazon on here, but I did take a look at Amazon, and a lot of prices vary. But World War Hulk is $38.43 on Amazon right now. And honestly, World War Hulk is my favorite big box because it has Transform. It's the last big box they did, which was like in 2018 or 2019, so it's been forever. But Transform as a mechanic is great because the Masterminds transform. It has one of the most interesting new mechanical things added to the game. It's like 15 heroes, like a ton of Masterminds, like 3 or 4 villain or henchman groups. Card House has it for $84 or $48.99, and they don't have they have free shipping at $100. I think it normally retails for $50, so it's not really that much cheaper. But Amazon, if you have Amazon Prime, it's less than $40. I would get this. If you want a big box, these two are the only ones that are available, and I'm putting this second because it's available through Upper Deck directly. But honestly, out of all these boxes, my preference here would be to get World War Hulk, and then get Secret Wars Volume 1, because it's just the other box that you have that you can get for big box stuff. Basically, everything that is not a big box is in print. So of the big box stuff, it's very difficult. And I think they did a reprint of Dark City a few years back, but if you don't have, I would say Dark City is next. So I'm going to go with Dark City based on in availability. Also, X-Men I would put in the same tier as Dark City. Dark City adds a bunch of harder stuff and just a lot of the cooler characters. Like you get X-Force characters. You get like Cable and you get like a lot of Marvel Knights. So Daredevil, Cable, which is X-Force, Punisher. You get Nightcrawler. You get a lot Jean Grey, I think. So you get some of these different Domino. So you get some really cool. Dark City's just great from like a content standpoint because it's like the first, like, here's a bunch of new stuff, and then it's all just like, I don't know, it's just cooler. Plus it changes the solo rules a little bit, but the What If set also changes the solo rules, and those are the most update ones. But I would say that if you're able to get the big box stuff, go for World War Hulk over Secret Wars. And Secret Wars is being sold by Upper Deck Volume 1. I don't know if that means that it's in print. I'm assuming it is, but if they run out of stock, are they going to make another one? I don't know. So that you may be kind of subject to getting it from them directly. I'm paying the $50 because if you get it from anywhere else, they're typically cheaper, but nobody else has it. And you can peruse Amazon or eBay or something and get it for higher than MSRP, but I'm just looking at stores I generally like to shop at, and also what's available. So that's what I've highlighted here. And Game Nerds, there is an affiliate link, so if you guys do buy stuff from Game Nerds, go ahead and use that link. It's in the description below, and I get a little bit of kickback on that. Secret Wars Volume 1. So while War Hulk doesn't change too much of the main board state, you just get the transforming stuff. Secret Wars, I think it gets sidekicks. So Secret Wars Volume 1 would be worth also too, because you get sidekicks, which adds an additional element of like some stuff to do. And the sidekicks in there, I believe, are they just they may just be the draw 2 sidekicks. And they're in Volume 1. Civil War, I think, has the special sidekick. So the pot of greed, the Bucky sidekicks come in Volume 1. Those are great. So you want those content-wise for that too. Civil War, and then X-Men adds... X-Men I put on the same tier as Dark City, but X-Men has not had a reprint at all, and I don't know that it's going to. So if you can get that for a really good price, I would say go for that. And then I think you can probably do this, and I would probably put those two in the next tier. So basically, I would say get World War Hulk if you don't have it. Then get Volume 1 because these are available. You can only get Volume 1 through Upper Deck, but these are available here. And I would go for this because it's technically, I think it's out of print. So get it where you can. And then go for Dark City and X-Men. X-Men adds Piercing Energy, which is a new like resource type. It's an attack. It's an attack based on a villain's victory points. Plus it has some of the hardest masterminds in it. So it's a lot of fun. And then I would go with Civil War and Volume 2 in that same tier. Again, if you can't find them, I think they're the least. Like Civil War adds special bystanders, but the heroes and stuff aren't as exciting to me in Civil War. Volume 2 is probably a little more interesting for Secret Wars. But Secret Wars 1 and 2 also have multi-class cards, so that's kind of cool too. But I think from a big box perspective, World War Hulk, Secret Wars Volume 1, and then Dark City / X-Men, and then Secret Wars Volume 2 / Civil War. That's the order I think you should get that stuff in. All right, let's unfilter everything just for a moment so we can kind of look at. So basically what we've got here is that Upper Deck has been doing small boxes and these deluxe boxes. Now the deluxe boxes are all available. And I like them a lot. Oh, come on. I like them a lot. Oh, I don't want the small boxes. And so there are 4 deluxe boxes currently out. One is on pre-order. So if you can get this, I'm assuming that Upper Deck, Miniature Market, Card House and such will have them available once they're available. But the Ant-Man and the Wasp MCU set, but it's out of stock at Game Nerds, so you can't really buy it there. But once it becomes like released, it'll be available everywhere. So keep an eye on that. That shouldn't be too hard to get if you want that. So you have Revelations, Into the Cosmos, and Messiah Complex. They're all available through Upper Deck, but they're sold out everywhere with the exception of Card House and probably Amazon. I think of the 3 of these, I like Messiah Complex probably the most because it adds some more sidekicks that are interesting, and I think it has these schemes that like are random in that like they start off with one side, but then you do like they are veiled and unveiled schemes, so you can have the first beginning scheme, but the second half of the scheme is different. I think that's a lot of fun. The heroes in there are really fun too with the card counts because some of them are not the traditional 5/5 3-in-1 for the commons, uncommons, and rare. So I say Messiah Complex of the big boxes is probably my favorite. Into the Cosmos and Revelations. I think Revelations is probably my second. I'm putting also this at 1 because it's available and you can get it if you want it. But I think Revelations is probably... Let me see. What's in Revelations? So Revelations has the Mandarin. It's got locations. So it's added that new piece it's got locations. So they take place of villains and they kind of. So that's a new mechanical thing. What does Into the Cosmos have special? Into the Cosmos is probably. It's got Phyla-Vell, which is one of my favorite characters, but I think Revelations probably adds more content-wise. So I would probably get it in that order. I would probably get Messiah Complex first, then Revelations, and then Into the Cosmos. But Messiah Complex of the deluxe boxes is probably my favorite. Now, these are all available through Upper Deck. I'm assuming that means they're all in print. But you have to buy them mainly through Upper Deck because most places they're just out of stock. So keep that in mind. And none of this is bearing on any local game stores. So if you have a local game store, I would check their stock because sometimes you end up finding some gems in there that are things that are out of print. I guess this is not available. So if you can find this, go for it if you want it. But yeah, we'll deal with that. This is available and I really want $20.99. So that's there. Now this is where we get into some interesting things. Because all of these are available through Upper Deck. I want to double check if... Upper Deck store. Is this, let me see. Is Captain America really not available? Yep, they don't have Captain America. So I'm going to guess that it's out of print. Okay. So this is really kind of your preference. Now, I think that things that are harder to find, I think things that are older are going to be harder to find. So I would probably start with getting stuff that's older, especially because like Card House has a bunch of them for decent prices. Some of these are even really cheap, like Dimensions is $15.99, Noir is $15.69, or maybe this was $15. I might have mistyped one of these. I think Dimensions might be 15 straight up, but basically it's 15 or 16 bucks. You should have an easy ability of getting them through Upper Deck, but if you want to get them from other places. So Fear Itself is the Villains expansion. This is at the bottom because I think you get that kind of last. If you have fear of something being out of print, I would go for that. But considering that most of the stuff is available, then you kind of have your preference here. Now, all of the MCU sets are screen captures. So if that bothers you, then you may want to kind of wait to get those or not get those at all. To me, I'm very indifferent. So with that being in mind, I'm going to start sorting out by my preference on what's my favorite out of the stuff. I think what content-wise, character-wise, mechanics-wise, and so forth. So one of my favorite things actually is the Shield set because it adds in some pretty cool heroes, but mostly the heroes will get rid of gray cards very easily, and so that just makes the game more fun because if you have all your gray cards gone, it means you get more options to do your stuff with your other heroes. So that's always great. And then also mechanically speaking, it brings in special shield officers. So like from a mechanic standpoint, that's really cool because you just have more to add into the shield officer stack to get a variety and get more different stuff there. So I think Shield is an important one to get. I think Champions is another important one. It's one of my favorite sets, just period. It's got one of my favorite cards, Kamala Khan. But all of the heroes are really good. They're really fun with the size changing, the double size changing. They've got size changing on two different colors. You get a really strong mastermind in there with Fin Fang Fu. And it's got some cool schemes. I just have it kind of has a special place in my heart, but I like that set a lot. I also think Noir is another one of my favorite sets. It's got some Spider-Man Noir, which is one of my favorite Spider-Man characters in the game. It's got Iron Man Noir, which I really like. It's got Daredevil Noir, Luke Cage Noir, and Angel Noir. So they're all just pretty solid. The Masterminds are fun. They're a little harder, but they're fun. Noir is a good set. So, and then probably not to, let me see, what else do I like a lot? You get, with Guardians, you get Thanos, and with Fantastic Four, you get Thanos, and with Fantastic Four, you get Galactus. Those are really hot, big masterminds. Is there anything else that I really like? I probably, to kind of round out the, like, must-haves, I think, I would probably go next with, I think I'm going to go with Black Panther. Because everything in Black Panther has a really cool mechanic with wounds and the villains, but the heroes are all really great. I think the Black Panther set with the heroes in the Throne's favor mechanic with those heroes and the ambush, those heroes are just like, all of them are a lot of fun. So I think that's probably like the next tier of stuff I would go for. I think Fantastic Four is great and Guardians is great. Fantastic Four mostly because you get Galactus, which is one of the hard masterminds, and he's a lot of fun. And then you get the Fantastic Four, which Sue Storm, Invisible Woman's like one of my favorite characters in the game, and I think she's one of the best characters in the game. You also get, with Guardians, you get Groot and Star-Lord, and I think those characters are really good, especially Groot. You get Thanos, and who's the other mastermind you get? Oh, Kree Supreme Intelligence, which is fine. It's pretty fun, but Thanos is kind of the one. I also think Venom is really great because I love Carnage and Venom in that set. And Carnage is one of my favorite characters also to play with. The other three are so-so. Maybe we want to knock that down to 3. Ant-Man's great because you get Ultron, you get Morgan Le Fay, you get Wonder Man, Jocasta, Black Knight, which is kind of odd, but you also get Ant-Man and Wasp is one of my favorite characters. So I think Ant-Man's also a really good one. Honestly, New Mutants is great. New Mutants is great because you get all the characters are really good. You get one of the hardest schemes in the baseball. The masterminds are fun, and you get the day and night stuff, which I think is really interesting. I mean, this is hard because I haven't spent a lot of time with some of this newer stuff, but I think you just end up, this is kind of your pick because it's all available. So it's kind of like character-wise, but I think just kind of off the bat, favorite stuff, I think that's probably how I would tier those things. So the purchase priority, in case I didn't make it clear, is like I would, tier-wise. I'm going to put Captain America as tier 1 because if you can find it, I would get it because it looks like it's not available anyplace. Hero-wise, it's solid. It's not my favorite, but due to availability, I would throw that in there. Let's see what we have left. So I think for tier 2, is there another one that I think is probably really, really good? I like Midnight Suns a lot, so I would probably go with that next also because it's got a lot of cool heroes and it's like horror themed, so I like a lot of that stuff. And also for me, Paint the Town Red because it's got Spider-Man stuff and it's got Moon Knight, and I like Moon Knight and I like Spider-Man, so I would go with that as well. I would probably put that in tier 1 honestly because for my own personal preferences, because of the characters. But okay, and then we have Okay, we've got Fear Itself, which I'm going to wait on. We've got Deadpool. We've got Spider-Man Homecoming. We have Dimensions, Heroes of Asgard, Annihilation, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy MCU, Doctor Strange, Black Widow, Infinity Saga. I'm going to probably put those all, like, they're all on the same kind of level for me. Like, Black Widow's good. Infinity Saga's good. This is good. I mean, I'm kind of in a place where, like, I'm cool with them. I would probably put them all like that. So that's probably how I would do it. So I'm going to sort this here in a moment. But of what's here, I basically would say like everything that's tier 1, like these are my preferences of what to get. This is available, so I just have it here. So I guess it doesn't matter. But these are my preferences of what to get. And Captain America is what it is based on the fact that it's out of print. Then I would focus on getting these ones next because I just think they're cooler with what they do and the characters they add. And then the rest of these are just pretty solid. And if you want to get them, you can. And then I think Fear Itself, if you're a completionist, go for it. But mechanically speaking, it fits more with the villains theme. And with villains, a lot of it is just like you're kind of like messing with your partners and stuff like that. It's fine. You want everything, go for it, but I really don't think if you don't care to have everything, then I don't think you need it. So let's kind of reassess everything in its totality here. Okay, so I'm gonna sort everything by priority, and let's take a look at everything. Priority 1, we're gonna make green. This is kind of your must-have. Oh, I don't want it that way. This is kind of your must-haves. Priority 2 is like go for them if you got everything from of 1. Priority 3 is the same kind of deal. And then priority 4 is you can get it if you want to or skip it. And all this whole list is considering if you want them, like what you should do mechanically as well as availability. So that's kind of how this is done up. Again, I'll have this link down below. But basically, if you're just getting into Marvel Legendary, I would say, let me also sort this too. Can I sort by both? Okay. If you're getting the Marvel Legendary, I would kind of give What If the priority or the core box, but get both of these. If you already have the core box, getting What If is worth it because especially if you get it from somewhere where it's under MSRP, because you'll get a playmat, which the playmats on their own are $25, $20 to $25, and then you get 8 heroes, 3 masterminds, 3 or 4 villain groups, maybe it's 5 villain groups, and like 3 or 4 henchmen groups. So you get a lot of content, and don't have to, and like the starter cards, the special you can put special bystanders into the main set of bystanders, but a lot of the other starter cards or whatever. So I would say get these two. If you have this, get this. If you have this, you can get this whenever. I say get World War Hulk. If you don't have any big boxes, get World War Hulk. If you don't have World War Hulk, just get World War Hulk. It's great. Messiah Complex, I think, is the best deluxe box. And then these are my preferences on the small boxes. Then go for Secret Wars. I guess the other thing, too, is consider print status. So if you can get it and it's, and you think you might want it in the future, go for it. But I think if you consider print status pretty high, consider I think these are all worth getting. Actually, I'm gonna make this a 4 because I really don't think that's. Oh, I want to make it this color. Okay. Yeah, I would definitely try to get the big boxes if you can get them. But when it comes to this stuff, you can probably leave this alone entirely. And I wouldn't, if you don't care, like I have villains separated. So if you don't plan on mixing it in, you can probably leave villains and Fear Itself alone and just get all the stuff that's like normal Marvel Legendary, not Marvel Legendary villains. But you basically you have kind of whatever you want with everything that's in print. It's just really your preferences to heroes, and then after you get past that point, I would just go with these are things I personally enjoy, and then mechanically speaking, I think are a lot more fun. So anyway, that's kind of my thoughts. You guys can, like I said, I have this linked down below, this Google sheet, so please feel free to look at it, ask me questions in the comments, things like that. But that's kind of what I'm thinking here. Let me resort this as well. Oh, what am I doing? Here we go. Okay. And yeah, this is kind of what I think you guys should get when it comes to this stuff. So anyway, feel free to ask any questions down below. If you're not a completionist, get what appeals to you. If you are a completionist and you've already entered this, I would definitely get what you can. And then do your best to try to find some of these out of print things, because if they're not available, then they're going to be very hard to get on secondhand market. But if you're just getting into this, jump on this. Jump on this if you can, because you get a lot of bang for your buck there, and I think it adds a lot of really cool stuff. So anyway, thank you guys so much for checking this out. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'll catch you guys next year. I got one more playthrough this week. And yeah, thank you guys. Bye-bye.